Yeah, my name is Jeff Smith, Minnesota the Twins, actually the AA manager, New Britain Rockcats, up here in Muskegon, Michigan with my partner Rick Knapp, former pitching coach Detroit Tigers and pitching coordinator now of the Kansas City Royals. And third year coming up here, and we really enjoy coming to Extra Innings here in Muskegon. Get a chance for us to come up here in December, and obviously getting closer to baseball season, spring training all the time. Get to talk about today, did a hitting clinic already, 2 catching clinics, and coming back tomorrow on Saturday to also doing pitching and hitting clinics here. We get an opportunity to come up here, being in Florida year round, we get spoiled with some weather, but we get an opportunity to come up here and do what we love to do. We love to teach the game of baseball, love to teach these aspects, have a passion for it, and after we teach the kids, we get to go around and have a coach's clinic right after it. So, I mean, you can't get much better than that in December baseball up here in Muskegon, and they do a great job in here of bringing all the coaches in, and I can tell, I think one reason why Rick and I always come up here and we make it a permanent stop on our calendar is anywhere there's a passion for baseball and people are passionate like they are here with Pete and Jim Greville. When we come up here, you know, we have an open invitation and we take full advantage of it to come up here, because this is a place where I can see baseball is getting up and you're getting a lot bigger up here, and the passion that they have is something we enjoy teaching here. As we teach the catchers up here, you know, and Extra Innings gives me a lot of space to do this. One thing that we always do as catchers, and obviously it's probably the most fun position to play on this, and we try to teach the kids at a young age. It used to be back in the day, they'd always put the short, fat kid back there, and now you better be a pretty good athlete to play back there and have some fun. So the biggest thing that we try to teach the kids is how to get an athletic stance to start out with. We try to teach them how to use their glove and eyes, and we try to teach them how to use their feet all the time while playing this game, and they have a lot of fun because they're in the play every time. And that's the big change in baseball over the years, is catching such an athletic position right now, and you see more and more athletes and more quickness in their legs all the time. And once again, the catcher's the leader on the field, and the more leadership qualities they can have, and we don't have to lead by being loud, but lead by example, the better off we are. Yeah, you know, that's one big thing I see here is that each year I've come up here, the kids have gotten better and better and better all the time, and that's all you can ask is see improvement like you do. And I've seen a lot of these kids 3 years in a row, and I can't believe the improvement. I could tell they've been working hard here at Extra Innings, working with the guys, is because the skill level is getting a lot better, and you know, and that's what you want. But the thing you really like is you see big smiles on their faces, and baseball's right around the corner. You know, it's December, but it's right here. February spring training's right here around the corner. Yeah, you hit it right in the nose. A lot of us play for a lot of different reasons, and I told myself a long time ago, if I stopped having fun in this game, I would be out of it. So you better always come to that ballpark with a smile, leave with a smile. It's a pretty fun time.
My name is Rick Knapp. I'm the minor league pitching coordinator for the Kansas City Royals. I was previously the major league pitching coach for the Detroit Tigers. My current role with the Royals, what I do is I travel around to all of our minor league affiliates, check on our pitchers, make sure they're following the plan that was put in place for them, and then track their progress. The younger players have changed quite a bit, and the fact that most players are becoming more visual learners because of the advent of video games and computer and television and the stuff that the graphics and stuff that they're able to show on TV. That's one difference. The other difference is that you know, there's been more streamlining, meaning that there's players that are identified earlier in their playing careers. And you know, we had talked with some college coaches earlier today, and they're looking at 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds now, where in the past they they were, you're looking at the 18s, the kids that are going to impact you right away. So the game's become a lot more streamlined, and the showcases cater more to a more specified talent. Sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always a huge part of it right now, the conditioning aspect, and there's facilities like this where guys can really take advantage of honing their skills, especially up here in the winter, and baseball now has become nearly a year-round conditioning sport. So. There are aspects, and that's what we're trying to bring to a clinic or a camp like this, is to try to get specific with some players and maybe teach them a point or two about their delivery or mechanics, or try to point out that there are different aspects in my area, especially pitching, that you need to be aware of. Well, I think that any time that you're teaching a skilled position, a quarterback, a running back, somebody that's got to use an extension of their body, I think that it's all about body awareness and trying to get them to understand what their bodies doing to perform the action or the task at hand. At the same time, you really don't want to limit them. You want to try to see how far they can push themselves, and really that's what my livelihood depends on. It is, it's good to have the guy that can command the ball and throw 85 miles an hour, but if that's all he's going to throw, then chances are his future is going to be limited. But that same 85-mile-an-hour throwing guy that's a high school pitcher that works in the weight room and gets bigger and he gets stronger and he becomes more fine-tuned in his delivery mechanics and he starts to try to throw the ball 95, well, that's a whole different guy. There has been several players over my coaching career that I've had a tremendous opportunity to be around when they were blooming, and obviously Justin Verlander with the year that he had this year, and to be a part of his development as a major league pitcher for sure. And Johan Santana, he was coming up, Matt Garza when he was coming up, and there's several pitchers that now are in the major leagues that have had great accomplishments that my last 2.5 years as the Detroit Tigers pitching coach was really an exciting time for me. I had the best seat in the house every night for 2.5 years. So it'd be really difficult for me to pick out one guy that I would say, ooh, that's the guy. But, I've had I'd like to think that I had a big part in a lot of guys that ended up being really good. They say those that can't do teach, and that's kind of what happened to me. I mean, I've been coaching now for 25 years. I played for 5. So, to say that I emulated a lot of players as a player isn't necessarily true. But, you refine your deal as a coach, and you kind of find a style that's comfortable to you. And, Tom House and was one of the guys that were, instrumental. And you mentioned Sandy Koufax, who, spent a very short time with him, and Claude Osteen, and I mean, there's been several pitching coaches that I really admired and looked up to over the course of my career. And I think that the second that you stop thinking that you need to learn something is the second that you become stagnant as a coach. So I'm always listening to even these young guys that are that I surround myself with as coaches. Those are the guys that I'm looking at now to try to find my edge. Sure. Well, I mean, the Venezuela and the international markets, they're those players get signed out of there, but they come right to the minor leagues, just like a player from the United States that gets signed and drafted and sent to the minor leagues. That's just part of the developmental process and plan. So it's really not it's not that we're forsaking the American-born players. It's a matter of we scout the globe basically to find players that we think that have potential, and that potential lies in size, strength, growth potential, and arm action and delivery. And there's so many factors involved that it really, if you're a good player, there's scouts out there that'll find you, and the minor leagues is part of that process, part of the building. Sure. Well, I mean, let me tell you something. If somebody wants to make a career out of their minor leagues, we don't want that guy. We want the guy that wants to strive to be in the major leagues. The minor, you don't make money in the minor leagues. You make your money in the major leagues. The minor leagues are a proving ground. And the bottom line is I was one of the very rare and fortunate guys that had a chance to stay in baseball and turn myself into a coach. And that's kind of what happened, in my instance. This area is a hotbed, in my opinion. It's an untapped market. I know that these guys here at this facility do an unbelievable job. So the extra innings program that they have here in Muskegon is awesome. And if you have any inkling about baseball or you want to learn more about it, this is the place to come.